All right, now let's switch gears to some very important discussion in regard to now the National Constituency Development Fund, a very heated debate between the ODM party leader Raila Odinga and members of parliament who have actually spirited a mounted aggression against the ODM party leader who advocates for the funds to be actually under the county government in some sort of tension. But in a quick rejoinder, the MPs have really mentioned, or rather just give it some benefit of the funds, that is the NGCDF, what it has done to the society, and that is why they really think that it should actually be added more to their kitty instead of being gutted out of their reach and out of their power. So let me usher you into this discussion, Mr. Ondiek. The discussion between the NGCDF and, of course, which has been a long debate between the counties and, of course, the members of parliament and the control of budget, say that the NGCDF should actually be left to the counties to carry on, or rather, this is duplicate functions, and of course the ODM party leader Raila Odinga was in support of that and actually advocated for the functions to be under the county government. What is your take on this discussion that is really shaping how things will be forming in the next few days, even as we delve into this very important discussion?
Yeah, from the onset, I have to tell you that CDF is a very important tenant in our democracy and also in the development of our rural areas. I want to also let you know that it is because of CDF that several schools have been built. It is because of CDF that several security posts have been built. It is because of CDF that several institutions have seen the light of day. Were it not for CDF, I want to tell you that we would still lag behind. Since Kibaki introduced the concept of transferring money to the constituency level, we have seen some of us went to school. Personally, I went to the university and I received bursary from Karachuonyo constituency almost 3 times. And that is the reason why I got opportunity to conclude my studies. And I want to tell you that what I've just said is a confession that is going to be made by several members of parliament who graduated around the time I graduated, and those who went through the process of Kibaki's CDF. And this act has been very functional and has been very valuable. And I can tell you that why do I want to tell you that this one is badly timed, this move? One, this move has been created and developed by Raila Odinga himself. No person else has developed this. And ODM members are only struggling to continue with this simply because Raila has told them to do that. You have seen Raila is talking about CDF. He wants CDF to be taken to the counties. He wants Kera to be sent to the counties. He also wants Kura to be sent to the counties. I want to tell you the malice in that thing. The truth is that governors have not performed well with the billions that they receive. Members of parliament have done well with the few hundreds of millions they have been receiving. A member of parliament, for example, in Karachuonyo constituency where I come, should have received within 5 years, can receive around 600 million because it's usually 120 to 120 something million. But if you look at what they have done, is actually visible compared to 9 billion times 5 years. 5 years, that will be like 45 billion which the county government has received. So why do you want to add money to people who have received too much and they can show nothing out of it, while these persons who have received very little can show a lot of it? The Constituency Development Fund, if you combine for almost a whole county, cannot be enough compared to what the county received. Because if you go to 8 constituencies, for example, in Homa Bay County, they will have received something like 40 billion, like 400 million. Yet, a county itself will have received something like 45 billion. So they have not performed with what they have, and still they are insisting that they want more. And the next thing you have to know is that The CDF has facilitated education of very poor people, and it is supposed to be increased instead of being removed. So I can tell you that it is Raila's interest, because he's taken control of several counties, like our regional counties. He has taken over those counties. He takes a lot of money from there. I know that one is allegation, but I know he does. So he wants to increase the allocation in the counties so that he can go there and have a lot of chunk of resources to take. We are not going to allow him. Raila cannot be moving this country left, right, and center. He is not going to take our country into his machine, his vehicle, which he wants to drive to left, to right. Akisema, when people go to the street, he's there. We are not going to do that. So Raila must also be called to order. Let each institution do their work. Let NGCDF work. Let counties spend whatever they have effectively. Let Kura do their work. Let Kera do their work, and all of them be accountable to Parliament. Members of Parliament and Senate must ensure, members of National Assembly and the Senate must ensure that each authority, each institution performs well. At the same time, even members of Parliament are not even directly in charge of this fund. Members of Parliament are actually only the patrons of the CDF. They are not even in charge of implementation. There is the NGCDF board, which has employed the fund managers in every constituencies, while the CDF, the MP, has only employed constituency manager, who recommends the projects which are supposed to be done, and then budgeted for by the CDF manager, and then is taken to Nairobi so that they are coded, so that they have codes. The level of corruption in our counties is too high, masterminded by people like Raila Odinga, that we are not going to allow them to take more funds to the counties. Let counties do their projects.
Mr. Ondiek, you know, like when you talk about corruption, even we have witnessed some cases where members of Parliament have really been put to task to answer some questions in regard to the management and misappropriation of these funds. So when it comes to the level of corruption, it cuts across. But let me take your thought on this one. The reason why...
just let me clarify something there.
Okay.
When a member of Parliament is put to task to look into how CDF has been used in his constituency, that is wrong. The EACC must know how they are to work. The investigating body and the Auditor General must know who is responsible, because the person who is in charge of CDF in the constituency is CDF fund accounts manager. Is not a member of Parliament. You must differentiate between the management, that is the board which is managing the fund, and also the member of Parliament. The only thing we need to do is to empower the board so that they can have more facilities and more activities, not interfering with it. Because the fund, the NGCDF board has really facilitated disbursement of money every time it is needed in the constituency. They have coded all the projects, and they are always on top of the performance of these projects. Okay. If you look at the number of stalled CDF projects compared to the number of stalled county projects, you will be amazed. Counties are a mess. Counties are basically a mess. They were given too much that they are beaten more than they can swallow. Let them swallow what they have first, and let it be seen properly digested, is when they can bite more. Let them not desire to bite more. And let Raila not push us to the wrong direction. He may claim to be a father of devolution, but he really needs to realign his mind so that Kenyans can receive what is out of their taxes and not what somebody thinks is the best for them.
All right, and actually we are running out of time, and I would really want to take you, rather get your account on this. Well, we have a duplicated functions. We have the county governor issuing bursaries, at the same time members of Parliament. Even as we wind up this discussion, well, do you think this is necessary? Can't we just have one kitty if it's being managed by either a governor or even member of Parliament instead of duplicate functions? Even as we wind up, Mr. Ondiek.
In my general view, or if the Progress Plus Alliance could take power so that we can decide how resources are allocated, we would do two things. Number one, we would let each and every devolved function operate properly. But about CDF, we are supposed to have a common body, because you see, there are so many classes of CDFs. We have of bursaries. We have presidential bursary. We have the county bursary. we have the constituency bursary, we have bursaries being given by churches, we have bursaries being given by other non-governmental organizations. If these bursaries could be put into one coffers, I believe that they can facilitate free secondary, free primary, and free university education. We don't need to take bursaries and give to schools and give to universities, while we can take that money and clump it together, then we ensure that the fees paid in school is almost zero at the primary level, secondary level, and at the university level. It is the same as what I want you to understand from our PPA perspective. And maybe just allow me 1 minute. That as Progress Plus Alliance, we even want to deal with medical. This thing to do with medical insurance, which is always given by different organizations. If you go to all government parastatals, they are paying some money to insurance bodies. That this is for life insurance, the medical cover. We would rather collect all that money from all those departments, add it to the health sector, so that we can have the best hospitals like Aga Khan. If Aga Khan can have Aga Khan Hospital in Kenya, and they don't have much money like we have in terms of our health sector budget, why can't we make our facilities be better than private facilities? Why can't we make our doctors and nurses paid better than they can be paid in their private hospitals, so that they can serve our people? We want to modernize as a party or as Progress Plus Alliance. We want to modernize medical services. We want to modernize education services.
Thank you.
We want to modernize youth engagement, and we want to bring industrialization. We want to build factories so that Kenyans can be employed. Once they are employed, they will be able to pay for education. They will be able to pay for water. They will be able to pay for all those that we want them to pay, including paying good taxes. But if they are jobless and you are overtaxing them and you can't give them better services, that is madness, and we must reorganize our governance system as a country to ensure that our people are properly preserved.
Asante sana. Thank you so much, Kennedy Ondiek, for that insight, and of course some good food for thought in regard to this the State of the Nation discussion, where we talk about matters, politics, and everything in between. And of course, just to bring you up to speed, it has been a discussion about the state of the IEBC, and of course the discussion that is ongoing between the National Government Constituency Development Fund, a very heated debate between Raila Odinga and of course members of parliament who are opposing the proposals to actually relocate the funds to be under the management of the county.